You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, General Hospital fans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I want to talk to you guys about, I've seen on social media a fair amount of GH fans in an uproar about what they feel is like white privilege on display in this prison storyline with Drew Cain's time behind bars in Pentonville Prison. I noticed there's a segment of fans that think it's really wrong that Drew is in prison and they want to blame Nina for that. And then there are viewers that want him out so he can get back into his romance with Carly Corinthos. Then there's a segment of fans that were really triggered by Monday's episode where Carly appealed to Diane to get Drew out of prison ASAP. So I want to talk about this, and I want to compare it to another plea deal where the prisoner served years and years behind bars, and it was a black character on General Hospital that was convicted of a crime that he didn't commit. Let's dig into this. I want to look at the difference in these two cases and some questions raised by fans about serious issues in the writer's room. And I think also serious issues with the powers that be who decide what storylines there are. We know that the producer over there, Frank Valentini, is very heavily involved in storyline direction. And that just begs some questions for me about what are they doing. We're going to dig into this fully. I'm going to read you some of these tweets, and I'm going to just kind of give you the little reminder about the other case so you can kind of think about it side by side and let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our GH updates. So real quick, I want to read you a few of the tweets that kind of inspired me to do this video. So California Girl on Twitter wrote a tweet quoting Carly saying, "Can't we just get a new judge?" And said, "Like you just go in and request a new hearing and a new judge? This woman was married to the mob. I think she's well aware it doesn't work this way." Okay. Then Soapy Housewife said, "Carly whining about Drew's sentence. Guess what? He wouldn't be in this mess if Carly had just listened to him and Michael in the first place, but she didn't. And she and Drew, all caps, committed a crime. This is all on Carly." That's from Soapy Housewife. Then Ice-T 17 said, "Carly, Drew is in prison for a crime you both committed." Nina Green tweeted, "Carly's so entitled, she thinks Diane's supposed to snap her finger and get Drew out of jail just because she want him out. Better be glad they didn't throw her no hips having as self in jail next to him." All right. Then Queen of Hearts says, "Why doesn't Carly understand the guilty can't just get out of jail because you want them? Drew is not Sonny who gets out of everything." That last one made me laugh literally out loud. And just again, I mean, these tweets are all pretty apt. Just to be clear on the crime committed, Drew telling Carly about the merger right off the bat, that in itself was against the law, just for starters, even if she never acted on it. So I went to look up the law to tell you guys, I'm a research girl. If you listen to me, you know I am. SEC Rule 10B-5 prohibits corporate officers and directors or other inside employees from using confidential corporate information to reap a profit or avoid a loss by trading in the company's stock. That part is not what Drew did. This next part is. This rule also prohibits tipping of confidential corporate information to third parties. Carly is distinctly a third party that got that tip from Drew about him taking Aurora public. Right off the bat, Drew broke the law by just telling her that they were going public. But at that point, Carly had not committed a crime, but Drew had. Then Carly committed a crime by buying up Aurora stock. To continue the definition, insider trading is using material, non-public information to trade stocks and is illegal unless that information is public or not material. Not material means like basically irrelevant, not important. None of what Drew told Carly was public information, and it was all material. It was all relevant. It was all important. So at the point that she bought stock based on the info from Drew, then she committed an illegal act. They both did something illegal. Finally, let's address the Nina situation. Nina broke no laws by tattling on them. People who want to see her in prison are wildly out of bounds for one of my favorite phrases, pissing in the wind. If you see somebody steal a car and you call to report them, the person stealing the car committed the crime. And even if people don't like you reporting it, you are not a criminal for doing so. The car thief is the criminal. That just to simplify what we're talking about here. Same deal. Even if Nina is exposed, that should not change Drew's sentence or the plea deal. It does not matter who turned him in or why they turned him in. He and Carly did the crime, and now he's doing the time, and she doesn't like it. It doesn't matter that Carly's intent was to help Michael and Drew. Her actions were criminal because she was intentionally trying to manipulate a stock price. She was. Those are all facts, not opinion. Those are all facts. Facts from SEC law and things we saw happen on General Hospital. Now, let's just real quick look at the sentence for insider trading. According to the SEC, people convicted in a criminal insider trading case can serve a maximum of 20 years in prison and do $5 million in fines unless the company is already publicly traded, and then the fine can escalate to $25 million. So Carly got the maximum financial fine based on the law, and Drew, by comparison, got a fairly light sentence when you consider 20 years is the maximum. But again, they both did the crimes of which they were accused. 100% guilty, guilty, guilty. Now, I want to read you another tweet that's very relevant and interesting, and this one is what really inspired this video. Chupacabra said, "Oh, for F's sake," but she spelled it out. I'm not going to say it. Carly whining that Drew didn't agree to his sentence and calling it cruel and unusual punishment is perhaps the whitest of all the white lady privileged complaints. Be happy your ass isn't in jail next to him where it belongs. You're both guilty. The reason I find this tweet so compelling is when I think back to someone else in Port Charles who went to prison for a crime they did not commit. That person was Shawn Butler. Do you remember Shawn Blakemore's character and how long he spent in Pentonville? If you don't recall the facts, here's a quick history lesson. Nicholas Cassadine wanted Hayden Barnes dead, so he took out a contract on her life. At the same time, Sonny Corinthos wanted Drew Cain dead. That was back in the Billy Miller era, okay? So he ordered Shawn to kill Drew. 2 shooters were lurking outside the garage that was later owned by Brando Corbin, the mystery assassin, and Shawn. Shots were fired. Hayden took a bullet. Drew did not. Shawn did not shoot anyone that night, but Nicholas's assassin nearly killed Hayden. Later, Shawn was accused of shooting Hayden, a black man accused of the crime for which a white man was guilty in carrying out and another white man was guilty of ordering. To protect another white man, Sonny Corinthos, on May 27, 2015, Shawn Butler took a plea deal and was sent to Pentonville. He sat there for 6 years while Nicholas and later other people knew that he wasn't guilty. Hayden knew it too and went to visit Shawn in prison. Nicholas knew it the whole time. Viewers knew it the whole time. And then later, it was when Alexis was also sentenced to Pentonville that she and Shawn started digging. And on June 23rd, 2021, so that's right at 6 years later, Alexis and Shawn figured out that the judge who sentenced him was a woman that routinely gave harsher sentences to black defendants than white ones. A month later, Shawn was released on July 20th, 2021. His sentence was commuted to time served because of a biased judge. Yet the white guy responsible, Nicholas, was never punished for ordering Hayden killed. And he even plotted to try and keep Shawn behind bars. He got his parole denied. And again, Sonny was never punished for ordering that hit either. Yes, Shawn went there intending to kill someone, and he had killed before. But in the matter of this specific crime, he absolutely did not do the crime, and he did a whole bunch of time. We're going to dig into this quickly, one more little point, but if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our General Hospital spoilers. If you're enjoying this discussion, we'd love it if you click a like, and definitely drop your comments on whether you think that GH is being a little tone deaf here. So Shawn did time, double the time that Drew was sentenced to, and Drew is 100% guilty. The motives Nina had for making the call to the SEC or having Martin do it are absolutely irrelevant to this conversation about crime and punishment. Drew is guilty. Carly is guilty. Shawn was not guilty of the crime he was sent to prison for. Carly's talking about the sentence being cruel is white privilege to my ears. I agree with the person that tweeted this, but let's also be clear. The characters are tone deaf, but somebody is writing these storylines, and the real issue for me is how tone deaf the writers and the powers that be are about this subject matter. Do they think we forgot Shawn Butler's case? I didn't forget it. That was the first thing I thought of when I was looking at these tweets. Do any of you guys think about that at the same time that Carly is trying so hard to get Drew out? Who tried hard to get Shawn out? No one. Not one person, not until Alexis was also sent to prison. To me, the way that GH handled this speaks volumes. Are they going to simply give Drew a pass? It's not a good look. No matter how bad you want to see Drew out of prison and laying pipe with Carly and all that, it's just, to me, it's very inequitable. One last time, I just want to read you this tweet that inspired me now that I've reminded you of Shawn's history versus Drew's current case. Chupacabra said, "Oh, for F's sake, Carly whining that Drew didn't agree to his sentence and calling it cruel and unusual punishment is perhaps the whitest of all the white lady privileged complaints. Be happy, your ass isn't in jail next to him where it belongs. You're both guilty." So what do you guys think? Should Drew serve out his full sentence? Or will GH be tone deaf about the inconsistencies in the legal system once again? Do you think they're being tone deaf? Let me know in the comments. They tried to shine a light on with this when they released Shawn before his full prison term by exposing racial bias in sentencing. That seemed great that they were shining a light on it, except that they still never punished the white perpetrator. But now they're kind of waving Carly and Drew's white privilege around like a banner, at least to some fans, based on what I'm seeing on social media. But what do you guys think? Is GH way off base, and are they going to be further off base if they just abruptly let Drew out? Drop your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Come back soon for more on General Hospital.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.